In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Sentinel. Now this figure was a made to order item. This figure was $175 when it first released, but now it's about $220 I believe. But last I checked, it was still available through Hasbro Pulse. The box is just standard, nice colors throughout, the photos of the figure, and you do get some nice promotional pics with not only the action figures from X-Men 97, but also some nice artwork on the sides of the X-Men themselves. But now let's take a closer look at the figure. Now here's the figure laid out with all of its accessories. You do get two kind of arc reactors, one that is normal and one that is battle damaged. The purple one is just simple, no real paint on it, just some silver, purple, and a little bit of black in the middle, and the back is obviously not painted. The battle damaged one is quite nice. You do have these two wires hanging off of it. You do have three claws up top, obviously indicating Wolverine. The battle damaged lines are sculpted throughout, and there is some subtle black here and there, kind of airbrushing, and the back is obviously not painted either. Why would it be? Now to put these on, it is quite simple. You do just want to rotate it, and there is a notch at the bottom and it is smooth at the top, and you just want to put that notch downward. Now there is some wiggle room, but it is not going anywhere. Now to take it off, you do just want to go from the bottom. It is sculpted for your finger to go under there, and you just want to put a little bit of pressure and it will come off. The other one also fits quite nicely since they are basically the same, just one has some battle damage on it. The next accessory is a battle damaged headpiece. Again, it is just like the normal one, just with a big chunk taken out of it, as well as some silver paint in the front. Other than that, it is smooth, no black wash or nothing, so that kind of sucks. This is a nice piece, but I do wish it had some black paint throughout. Now to interchange it, you do want to just lift up the current one and then just put on the battle damaged one. It is just friction fits, and once you put it on there, it is not going anywhere. You can also put it the other way around, but why would you really do that other than him kind of being attacked from the back? The next accessory is his battle damage faceplate. This thing is nice with all the paint and battle damage. Again, do wish there was some more black paint throughout, kind of airbrushed, but I do like the circuitry on the eye and the wires in the mouth, as well as the silver paint on the teeth, and the back of it is just black. Now to interchange the helmet piece, you do want to take the helmet off and then just put your finger underneath, push up, and then put your fingernails in between the faceplate and the head, and then just pull towards you, and then obviously just put the next head onto it, and it does fit nice and snug. Now with all three of the battle damage pieces onto him, he does look really good. I do wish he came with a battle damaged hand though, kind of like the HasLab Sentinel, or at least a battle damaged boot piece. You do get two blast effects, one big and one small. They are virtually the same, just again one's longer than the other, but both of them do have the sculpted lines throughout and are a nice translucent red plastic. Now to use the accessory, you do just want to push this into the hand. The next kind of accessory we have are these two little kind of blast effects that go at the end of the beam. They are a nice translucent yellow plastic with some orangish reddish paint at the end of it. And again, the sculpt is really nice on this, and it is a rubbery kind of material. The next accessory we have is this bigger blast effect, which is quite nice. Nice red translucent red plastic with some nice yellow paint in between each of the webs. I do like how big and hefty these things are. They can easily be used as some sort of ground effect if you want to. To make the big kind of beam, you do want to put the little one in between the big effect and the beam. You do want to put two fingers at the end, two fingers at the base, and then push until it snaps into place. You can also plug these at the bottom of the feet. They do fit nicely and are not going anywhere. But honestly, who's gonna have this guy hanging? He is quite heavy. Now let's take a closer look at the figure. Now this is the faceplate and helmet that are on him in the packaging, and they are quite nice with the black paint in the eyes. The helmet is just this magenta kind of color throughout, with some little bit of paint around it. Sculpting throughout the figure is quite nice, and you do also have this kind of different darker purple and kind of grayish purple as well. This chest piece does have some nice red paint in the middle, and the rest of it does have some silver paint. You do have these lines that do go all the way down to his crotch area. You also have this nice square in the middle with some different kind of paint. The arms are simple with no real definition on them. You do have these sculpted lines on the forearms. You do also have this screw hole on the inside of his arm, which kind of sucks. The hands do have some nice detail. I do like how the articulation on the fingers acts kind of like some sculpted in line work, so it is quite nice. The legs are also just simple, no real definition to them. The boots also have this kind of line work at the top of them, while the rest of the boot is just smooth. The back of the boots are also smooth, and you do have the sculpted lines up top. The bottom of the feet do have these repulsors on there, as well as a hole to plug in the effect, and some subtle lines throughout. The back of the figure is pretty smooth until you get to these lines that do go all the way up. You do also have these screw holes at the shoulders, and the details that are on the front of the figure also come around to the back. Underneath the helmet, it is just this kind of gray plastic with no real paint in it, which kind of sucks. Wish there was some more kind of, at least a wash in there, or maybe some sort of wires that were showing would have been quite nice to add. The head can obviously rotate all the way around. He can also pivot to his left as well as to his right. He can move up a decent amount, and he can move down a decent amount. He can technically move more down, but it does just kind of spring back, which kind of sucks. Wish he can just stay there. The shoulders can rotate all the way around. He can hinge up not quite to 90, which kind of sucks. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that move to 90 degrees. He can rotate at the wrist, and he does have a claw hinge which allows him to move forward and back. Each of the fingers are on a hinge and swivel, which obviously means you can hinge them and swivel them to about 90 degrees. And the thumb does have a kind of butterfly joint at the base. He does swivel left to right. He does have a decent pivot going to his left as well as to his right. He can crunch slightly back as well as slightly forward. He can also kick back a little bit, and he can also kick forward a good amount. He does have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees that do move in a really good amount. He does have boot swivel. He can also rotate at the ankles. He can hinge back slightly, and he can also hinge forward slightly. And finally, he does have a decent ankle pivot. As for the size comparisons, here is compared to your average body molds from different companies such as NECA God of War Kratos, Diamond Select Toys Bruce Lee, a McFarlane Toys Batman, NSH Figure Arts Kaioken Goku, Hasbro Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, and finally here he is compared to an Amazing Hamaguchi Deadpool. So what are my thoughts on this figure? It is a really good piece. Yes, it is at a higher price point at $175, but I do think it is worth every penny. Now if you do get it today from Hasbro Pulse, it will run you about $220, so that does kind of suck that they upped the price for whatever reason. But I do have just one of these in my collection, so I might have to go back and get one if they're still available, like in 2 to 3 weeks. I do like the way this figure looks. It looks very accurate to the source material, so that is quite nice. The only thing I do wish he came with was a battle damaged hand and a interchangeable boot piece that was also battle damaged. I can easily see some customizers out there repainting this guy to be totally battle damaged, so that would be cool to see in the future. But as for me, he will just look normal on my shelf. But as for me, I am happy with just the 3 different battle damage pieces he came with. But either way, that was my review. Let me know in the comments below if you guys got this guy as well. And are you or are you not happy with your purchase of this figure? I personally am happy with this figure, so I do really recommend him if you can get your hands on him for about that $200 price point. But either way, thanks for watching. Now fuck off.